What's up, guys? I would say long time no see, like usual, but for once, I'm actually decently punctual, making roughly a video every 2 weeks. At least that's the goal, that's the plan. I don't like forcing out product because then I feel like it's not about quality anymore, it's more about quantity, and I don't want to just give you guys some, watered down product, watered down video, that I just rush out and throw out on the internet. Some days I do feel like that, I will not lie, but you know, it is what it is. So, bear with me because this is a type of video that I've never tried before. Um, I've always wanted to conduct interviews, at least structured interview types of videos where I'll sit down a friend of mine, preferably someone that I know, and I'll ask them questions. Now, like I said, this can go either of two ways. It can go great in ways that I didn't expect, and it can also go completely terrible in ways that I didn't expect because I'm freeballing it. I didn't have time to write down any questions, so I'm just gonna think of anything that pops off the top of my head. And you too, like if you have any questions too that you'd like to ask me, it's equally open for that. I'm here to interview him. This is my friend, my main man, my main squeeze. Pause, I'm just playing. This is Zael. Zael, say hi.
What's up, everybody?
So, Zael, I've known Zael now for about, I'd say 4 years.
Yeah, 3 to 4 years.
We've met each other in high school. We hated each other at first. The irony, but now I'm so grateful to have him in my life. To call him my brother as well. If this was like a 90s sitcom, Zael could probably walk out here with like a, that kind of pose, and like there's like the audience clapping, going crazy.
Oh, like this.
Yeah, exactly, like the celebrity in the 90s sitcom.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
Okay, so boom. We're gonna start off with a simple question. How are you today? How do you feel?
I'm feeling better than I was this morning at work. Obviously, the day was kind of rough. I'm off my medication, but now that I'm hanging out, having fun, I feel like today's going all right.
That's great to hear today. That's great. Now we're gonna get into the deep questions, and I know, it's out of nowhere and it's crazy. But does pineapple belong on pizza? That is a controversial question.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
It depends on what it is paired with. If it's paired with something savory, I can believe the sweet and savory could match perfectly.
All right, so if it's just pineapple in pizza,
I don't believe that should go on pizza, no.
thank you. I rest my case. Rest in peace to all the pineapple pizza eating. Nah, I'm playing. I'm playing. Okay, so I'm going to try at least to ask questions, and maybe down the road we'll get deeper and deeper in it. Like I said, I'm freeballing it, so just bear with me here. There are people with this, but in your way of life, in your way of living, what is your idea of success? What does success mean to you?
Because success varies depending on person, my idea of success is being happy with life. Because you can't truly be successful if you're not happy with what you're doing.
Right.
So you can be doing something so small but be happy with it. Granted, it might not be the most impactful thing, but as long as you're happy with it in your own definition, you can be successful.
I kind of agree. I agree with that. I feel like success is defined by other people rather than the person themselves. Like for me, my dad would define success on owning like how do I word it? Like money, materialistic aspects, and that's good and all because we live in a society where we need money to survive. We need these material things to live, but I feel like the longer we pursue materialistic things, the more we're gonna stray away from actually finding fulfilling happiness. Don't get me wrong, that could possibly also be paired with the saying that money can't buy you happiness, and in some ways I feel like it could definitely encourage the feeling. It really could.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's not always going to solve your problems. Especially I feel if it's an emotional problem or mental problem. For me, I would have bad problems with spending a lot of money on things that I don't even need. I feel like that's a common American problem regardless, but anywho, it's just sorry, the cat.
Menace.
Yeah.
Like what is
Scripted. Scripture. Yeah, in the future we're gonna try something more with a blueprint, but for now we're just like literally going with the wind here. Where did I leave off, Cuban?
You just asked, what do you think, to me, is happiness? I mean, success. My definition of success.
Oh yeah, I remember now. Yeah, like people like my dad, they believe more in the materialistics, but I feel like it also depends heavily on people's perspectives, because I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but my dad, he didn't grow up with much of a lot of things, and when he came here, he didn't have much at all to his name, so he had to work hard for everything that he had, and so that's why he has that perspective. It's what he went through in his life, and that's what he would define as successful, and that's different from me. Don't get me wrong, I would love materialistic things, a car, money, food, all that stuff's mandatory. It's what we need to be alive, but it's not what we truly need to live, if that makes sense. Like, we don't need materialistic things to truly
live life how we want, in a sense.
Yeah, in a way, yeah. Good point around that. So that's I like the way you think, because I have a similar way of thinking to that. I feel like if you spend most of your life chasing money, there's bound to come a time where you'll have none of it, or you've chased it for so long that you won't be met with the same satisfaction after a while. Like, you'll be hollowed or in pain, or whatever the emotional or mental problem you might be going through. Don't get me wrong, money definitely will help. Definitely, there's a lot of our problems could be fixed with money like this, but mental issues and emotional issues, not all the time can you answer it with money.
No, yeah, 100%. Money is used to gain things, to improve, and experiences. With those experiences, you can gain more, happiness in a sense, but you can't truly gain happiness or success unless it comes from within.
I see what you mean. No, for sure, and that's what I also feel like. That's something I don't agree with necessarily too, is that a lot of people say money is the root of all evil, but it's not. To me, at least to me, my perspective is that money is simply a tool. It's the people who use it the wrong way that are the evil, and they give it the excuse that money's the root of it. It's really not. It's just a tool. It's the people who use it the wrong way, I feel as if, that are the evil. Go ahead.
That reminds me of a phrase somebody said. They said something very similar. They said money isn't the root of all evil, the want of money is. Because if you want something bad enough, you are willing to do whatever it takes to get it, no matter how dark and devious.
True. No, that makes sense. I wouldn't have passed it either. I mean, how many Hollywood movies are there where, like, the main character's broke or something, or goes through something traumatic, and like he needs money? Like, look at Breaking Bad. Walter White needed money. He developed cancer. He wasn't the man of his family, if you get what I mean. And he needed some quick cash. He needed money because what he was doing at the moment, washing cars and teaching, was not paying him nearly as much. And so what he would do is I'm not going to get into the whole anatomy of the show, but he has chemical experience. And so he met a dealer who knew what he was doing, and they started making meth. And that's how they started making money, quick cash. It goes to show that, it depends on how you use money, and your level of want for it as well. Because then you're willing to go to really deep and desperate measures to get that.
Yes.
So it's not money necessarily, I feel as if. I think it's more of the human nature. It's more of the people who desire it. Like, what's their motive behind it? Why do they need it? And
how bad do they want it?
Yeah, no, exactly. See? Yeah, man. I don't think money... I don't think you should live by money. I think money is a tool that will help you live. But I don't think money is like a rule of thumb that should become like your obsession. That's just my...
No, money should be like something that comes, but something that helps you. It shouldn't be something you chase actively.
Right.
Over and over. I can see you getting a job and you getting it like casually working and living your life outside of that. But if you're actively doing too much to chase money, I don't really view that as necessary. It's too much.
No, that makes sense. Okay, so this is a little different. This is a little off topic, but this is what I think. kind of tying in with the object of the subject of money as a whole, I feel like school does a poor job at raising kids. And bear with me here. I can't speak for everyone, but I grew up in a broken home, and I was only taught certain things. And I feel like growing up, I never had anyone to teach me how to become a man. More so, how to become a member and an adult of society and how to function in society. School, like, oh, what's this president? Who's the 14th president and why? Who's this? I feel like teaching the history of the country you live in should be a thing you should learn. Get context on where you were born and your forefathers who were here before you. I think that's a thing that history, something we shouldn't forget, is something we should learn. However, I feel like we're missing out on a lot too. My high school, you were there. We were fortunate enough to get a finance class. Big ups to Dr. Hake. We were fortunate enough to get a finance class that taught us about student loans, credit cards, debit cards, banking, the IRS. We were fortunate enough to learn about finance, and a lot of high schools don't teach that, and that's where I feel like that's bad. That's wrong, And then I feel like high school, depending your teachers, because some teachers could be really great. For our high school, I feel like we had amazing teachers that encouraged us to go out there and to seek more and be more.
They never really tried to mold us into anything either. They let us be ourselves and let us chase our dreams.
And I feel like that's absolutely vital, because I feel like a lot of kids nowadays, they have really strict parents, or parents that don't even care enough to encourage them. Instead, they like try to force them into a mold, and that's how my dad was, and I feel like, when you get through high school, you're more focused on getting this academics done and over with, but there's no one really there to urge you to think about who you want to become. Like I said, it depends if you have good teachers or not. But normally people are like, oh man, go to college. But that's all they encourage you with, is go to college. And then what? I've seen a lot of people around our age range that go to college, and they for what they study and what they go to school for, they don't become what they studied. And they spend like 4 years in this place, and they're in like 30 to 40 grand in debt sometimes, and it's like what gives? After college, in most situations, you're not guaranteed a job afterwards. You're not. That's the harsh reality. You're not guaranteed a job after college.
You're guaranteed a skill.
Right.
However, you're not really guaranteed a job because you have a skill.
Right, exactly. That's why there's the argumental debate of, should I go to college or should I learn a trade? And I honestly think a trade would be way better off, because then I feel like a lot of trades in this day and age are dying out. If you learn how to become a carpenter, you're gonna get more opportunities that way. But when you go to college, you're spending more money than most people would have, and so they gotta go to financial aid. They gotta work. Not only do they gotta work a job to pay rent because they want to be on their own, or they're not allowed to be with their parents. But then at the same time, they gotta work to pay the rent, work to pay off school, and then they got school to worry about. So literally, they have no free time, they have no life. It's just a constant cycle, and they're stressed out, they're tired, they contemplate if this is even worth it anymore. And I may not speak for every college student, I may not, but a lot of the people that go to college now, and I've met them, some of them honestly regret it. Some of them, they're struggling. They're going through it right now, and that's the harsh reality we live in. Is that you get encouraged to go to college, but no one really asks you what you want to do. And then when you try to ask yourself,
Listen,
man, thank you. And so when you try to ask yourself a question that most people don't encourage on a normal basis, like I said, I can't speak for everyone. You're sitting there twiddling your thumbs because you don't know what you want to do, and that's rough. My bad. I've been talking for the meanest minute. Do you want to say anything?
Not really on this topic, because you're covering a lot of bases, actually. A lot of good topics.
Right. Well, I appreciate that. If there's anything you want to say, go ahead. Feel free.
The only thing I would like to add to that is something you're right about that. That not many people or not many schools, parents, teachers, anybody really encourages you to be yourself or ask you what do you want to do, because they're so focused on what is going to help not either them, the world around them, or just to help you make money. They're not really focused on what you want to do. I was lucky enough to grow up in a place where I was always asked, what do you want to do? What do you want to be? So I can always say that does help, but not in everyone's case does it help, because it can always leave you like, what do I want to do? What do I want to be? It can always leave you with more questions than answers. While I do see the benefits and downsides, I do believe that it's a great question to ask people, because if they do not know what they want to do, how can they be happy with what they're doing?
That's what I'm saying, and I 100% agree with you on that. You know, that gave me more of an insight to, you know, what younger people are going through in the, you know, with their family. Then they got to balance it out with a job, and then they also got to balance it out with college, and you get less time to do what you want to do, whether it's passions, hobbies, goals, and you got to focus more on academic, finance, and not going poor and being homeless, or going broke completely. And it's rough. I can't speak from a college kid standpoint because I've never went to college, but man, it's rough, you know. And it's sad. Don't get me wrong. College for some people could definitely work for them. It's not that college is for nobody, because some people can go to college and it works out perfectly for them. You know, my roommate's going to college. He wants to be an RN. He's been going to school for a while now, and he's really close to completing it. So the road is tough, but it's always going to be achievable. The question is how bad do you want it, like you said earlier. But sometimes it comes at a greater risk than you've asked for.
100%, but it's always up to you to determine if you're going to climb over those walls, break them down.
Oh no, for sure. You know, and that's the question at the end of the day. Is don't let anyone else to decide it. Don't let your mom, your dad, your great uncle, grandpa, your great uncle Steve, who's the goldfish in your living room. Don't let any of them define your success. Don't let any of them define your dreams and your goals. Don't let any of them force that decision for you and force your hand. Success at the end of the day is not defined by your family. It's not defined by your boyfriend, your girlfriend. You know, it's not defined by any of that. Success is defined by you, and your happiness will come from your own well-being and the things that you want to go out and seek, you know. And I feel like that's the most important thing, no matter what your age is. Success is determined by you. You know, I feel like in this society, a lot of people play comparison games and they like to compare themselves to other people's, but you got to realize there's only one John right now in the living flesh, and that's you. If you're a John, if you're a Pete, you're a Pete. If you're a Sarah, you're a Sarah. If you're a Zael, you're a Zael. The thing is, and a lot of people forget, it's not a comparison game. And I feel like you need to wake up, and whoever's watching this and you need to hear it, you need to wake up. Because if you're going to waste your time, you're going to hurt your own feelings and get upset because you're comparing your journey to someone else. You're comparing your journey to someone else. And it's not their journey to walk on, it's yours. It's your life. Success should be defined by you, no one else. Same with happiness. It's been a great time talking to you, man, as always, as usual. I'm going to plug his channel below. He wants to get back more into YouTube. He has a YouTube channel. And I'll probably plug his Twitch if you guys want to check it out in the bio, description of the video below. You got any party warnings?
Well, I just wanted to say a few things before this goes on. I love the rants that go on. Your insight, just a few questions give you, just a few questions can give so much insight to the way other people's minds can work, and how that can broaden other people's perspectives is amazing. Other than that, I want to say that this guy right here is an amazing man. Please watch his this is a shameless plug for him. He is not shameless, but he is a good man. I really respect him, and the way he views content, the way he wants to do here, I respect that. So if you guys can, please support him as well. Like, subscribe.
Remember, at the end of the day, perspective, baby. Perspective. Get out there and go chase it. Love you guys.